So welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm recording pretty much in my room. I recorded different segments that I kind of edited together, so I will have chapters. First, what like basically the segments are I'm speaking about the differences of the armor moves between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 and my theory on how I feel that the armor moves of Tekken 8 should be leveraged a little bit more based on the aggression design of the game. You can let me know your thoughts about that. In another section, I'm speaking about my hatred of rage arts and how I feel it could be changed to be better adjusted or better suited for Tekken 8 overall. So you just don't feel like you're being cheated out of a victory, out of an assured victory, I should say. And the final segment I would say is involving my thoughts on a version of the game that has the heat elements versus a version of the game that does not. And I refer to that version as Cold Tekken because it's heat, right? Heat mechanics. So if you take out the heat, you're left with cold basically. So I call it Cold Tekken. So anyway, I'm gonna have chapters basically, and hopefully you enjoy the video. Yeah, it's about 3:38 in the morning of me doing this, so I'm gonna try to edit this all together, upload it, premiere it, and knock out. So anyway, enjoy, take care, subscribe if you haven't, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to check me out. Anyway, let's get after it. So for this section of the video, I want to highlight key differences between Armor Crush moves for Tekken 7 versus Tekken 8. Now, you may already be aware of this, and that's fine. This is for people that may not be aware of the differences, like completely brand new players, or players that may have actually forgot the finer differences between the Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 versions of the Armor Crush move. So let's hop all on over onto the lab in Tekken 7 real quick. And I'm going to do something that I hope to be able to do in Tekken 8 one day, and that is pick my main character right here, Lei. But until then, I will be utilizing Raven primarily for Tekken 8. But at least Tekken 7, I can have some nostalgia and pick my main. So we're going to pick Lei Mirror. We'll just go, it doesn't really matter the stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to program the second player Lei to just throw a basic jab and to immediately follow up with his Armor Crush, which is forward forward right punch or forward forward 2. And I'm going to detail the differences with this as opposed to Tekken 8. So let's get him recorded. So standing 1 and then forward forward 2 right after. So now when I have him, when I block the standing 1, I'm going to do a down forward 4. So as you can see, the Lei player, or the Lei, this Lei that's doing the Power Crush move he is tanking the down forward 4, taking permanent damage, but I am recovering quick enough so that I do not get hit by the armor move. So basically, the one doing the Power Crush is losing. And on top of that, he's still minus 12. So he's still minus 12. Yeah. So if we were to contrast that with, say, Tekken 8, I'm going to do just a quick change here. Love Xbox's quick resume feature for this. So I already have Victor set up to just throw a standing 1-2 retaliatory strike. And so I'm going to do standing 1, he's going to do 1-2, and then I'm going to do my Power Crush. So you just saw right there, I still absorbed Victor's 1-2, but it absorbed as recoverable damage. Now if I do standing 1-2, Victor now recovers in time to block my Power Crush move, but if you notice, Victor also takes recoverable damage. because in Tekken 8, uh, this game does not penalize the person performing the Power Crush move quite like they do in Tekken 7. Like I showed in Tekken 7, if you are doing the Power Crush move, you tank the attack, that's permanent damage on you. But if I'm doing a non-committal move and I block your Power Crush move, I'm completely safe and I can do whatever punish I can do for your particular Power Crush. Whereas in Tekken 8, under the same circumstances, I do a Power Crush move, I tank your attack, I'm only incurring chip damage. If you happen to recover quick enough, block the Power Crush attack, I am still being rewarded by having you be dealt with chip damage the same as me. And if my armor attack was minus, say, minus 12, it would now become safe. So it looks to me that Tekken 8, which is in line with the aggressive play style and it is definitely targeted toward casual play, I do feel that this game, Tekken 8, you are encouraged to utilize your armor moves far more than you would in Tekken 7. Now, armor moves do incur a bit of a risk, right? You can get grabbed out of them. You can get attacked. Low attacks can stop them. And that's perfectly fine. It helps with the ebb and flow of the game. But what I will also say is that when you have an aggressive style level of play, if you are, if you're Raven and you're being hyper aggressive and you're expecting your opponent to respond back, just throw out an armor attack. If you are on the defensive and you are going to basically block a move that's going to put you at negative frames and you can't do nothing about it, you might as well just do an armor attack through it, or at least make the attempt. And I'm actually going to show a perfect example of that as I put Jack 8 on the screen and use everybody's favorite Season 2 maneuver that's actually set to be nerfed, I don't know, probably in a couple of days. Now, Raven has the good fortune of being able to just warp out. He can just warp out. Raven doesn't have to be there for many mix-up situations. But in the event your character does not have that type of capability, just simply doing your armor move will get you out of the situation. So you'll incur a lot of chip damage onto yourself because it'll be recoverable health. But as you can see, Jack will take the brunt of that damage. That's non-recoverable health for him. So if the Jack player is going to keep running this mindless ass attack, just keep doing armor moves. So if I'm the player thinking, all right, he's gonna do that kill the noise or bring the noise move, it's gonna potentially be like this. Oh wait. See, look at that, boom. So I'm thinking that he's gonna do that attack, do the third part, I'm gonna armor through it, because you have to basically commit to the armor. I can't just wait and see. I have to already, the minute I see Jack do the 2-1, I'm already doing the armor move, because the minute you wait, you lose the frames to be able to armor through. So as a Jack player, to kind of do that, an added level of strategy, now it's like instead of doing the third part, you just grab them. So for this segment, I would like to talk about my absolute hatred for rage arts in Tekken 8. And I also want to share just some of my own personal solutions to this problem. To be perfectly honest, I don't have an issue with the game focusing on casuals. The issue for me largely is the comeback mechanics. I can deal with the dumbing down of the character. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. But dealing with this stupid mechanic where it's like at any point in time, as I've said in other videos, and you've probably fallen victim to this nonsense, where you're on the offensive and here comes a rage art, or if they're holding on to it, you're cautious to where you break your own momentum, allowing your opponent back in the match. It's absolute nonsense. So let me just go over this real quick. Let me go to practice mode. Ah, boy. Let's just do this. Who should I play? Let's just keep it base. Let's keep it with Raven. And yeah, we'll keep it with Victor. Just keep it like this. So for this example, we're just gonna do the typical, this guy's gonna activate Rage, his Rage Art. And just to kind of show, even if I just do a jab, let me see, he should be doing it, right? Okay. Look at that. So because I threw a jab, the minute this thing activates, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that that is a thing. In my opinion, I feel that rage arts like this should have the same weakness as an armor attack. That's just in my opinion, because with an armor attack, let's just have him do that, right? As we know, armor attacks, lose to low attacks. They lose to grabs, right? So if a rage art had the same weaknesses as an armor attack, I think that the community would not be as rageful against rage arts as some currently are, especially people like me. It's just to the point where when you beat your opponent down and they're in this situation, and now I can have 60% health, my opponent can have like a pixel, and I literally have to give the utmost and extreme respect to this opponent now because I don't know if he's just gonna just go and activate and then potentially steal the round from me. That aspect of Tekken 8 is the thing I hate the most. I can kind of deal with the dumbing down of the characters. It's sort of like picking the lesser of two evils. I'm willing to deal with the other nonsense, but if I can get that changed to rage arts, it would make the game much more tolerable because in most cases I'm not really losing to characters that may be dumbed down because I still trust in my own skill. I can work on things in the lab. I understand my frame data extremely well, but it's very hard to deal with random, and let alone random when it's basically resulting in the potential for you losing an entire round despite you earning that victory because you outplayed your opponent, but because of the game's mechanics and catering to the casual demographic, we're going to gift the casual this nuclear bomb that they can activate at any time. I would much rather, as I said, I would like to see rage arts have the same weaknesses as an armor attack. So at least when an opponent is in this state, there's some sort of a tit for tat where my opponent would know that, let's say in this situation, I knocked Victor down. So now I'm running up to finish him off. Now that Victor player may already suspect that, okay, the Raven is probably thinking I'm going to do a wake up rage art and he's just going to grab me or attack me low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a low parry. And you know what I'm saying? So you have an extra layer of thought. the way these rage arts are now, it's just, do I not press a button and let my opponent back in the match, where under normal circumstances in any other game he would be done? Or do I take the risk and try to finish him off? I just feel like that is just a recipe for disaster. I just think that there are players that just don't like feeling cheated. Like, if you legitimately beat me, you hit me with some good shit, you sidestep, you came back, you fine. But if I'm like, dog, you're like literally on death's door, and here comes a Hail Mary YOLO rage art. I'm sorry, bro. If there was ever a time to fucking rage quit, that there it is right there. Because that shit, you're just basically stealing around from me. And this is what people feel. And then it's like your only thing is, oh well, just don't push buttons. Like, what sense does that make? It was me pushing buttons is what got you into this desperate state. Like, so anyway, that's just what I feel could make rage arts more manageable. And it's not like it would make rage arts completely worthless, because you still have the possibility of still tanking your opponent's attack still. And like I said, if your opponent is suspecting that you are going to do a rage art and they're going for the grab, they're going for the low attack, you could just simply go for a low parry, which is going to eliminate most of the grabs and eliminate the low attack. So it becomes this potential, like, okay, what are they going to do? And there's still that potential for the comeback without feeling like you as the winning player is getting screwed over. So that's just my take on the whole rage art thing. I'm pretty sure, um, you know, in future videos, I'll probably think of something else. And so I apologize if it didn't come out super fluid, but this is just literally, I'm thinking of it on the fly. I'm basically freestyling it at like, what is it, 2:25 in the morning with my brain starting to shut down. So you gotta forgive me on that one. So anyway, let me try to get to the next section. And actually, this will probably be the last section of the video. There's a couple of people in my comment section that left very good comments. It was on the last video, the one where I said how and why. I think it was that video. Anyway, I'll link the video in this video. Ultimately, it's giving players the option of playing the game with the heat mechanics on versus off. Now, I've just come to recently learn, based on a commenter that left me a YouTube link. I haven't watched it yet, but apparently there are modders that already created something on the PC side. Well, unfortunately, you know, I'm on Xbox, so I don't have access to mods like that. But I do feel giving players an option to play the game without heat would be very good, in my opinion. In fact, I made a mention of this to somebody in a prior video, maybe it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, and I titled it Cold Tekken versus Heat Tekken. Heat Tekken is, you got your vanilla Tekken, right? You got all your heat. But if you want to play Cold Tekken, where you don't have any heat mechanics, you can have access to that. Now, how would this work in ranked? Well, simply Namco would just have a separate category for that. It kind of reminds me way back in the day where you would be playing Tekken Tag Tournament 2, but you have the option of playing one-on-one, where you could play either your 2-on-2 style Tekken Tag, or you can play 1v1 matches. So I do feel it is very possible for Namco to just simply go into the source code, create, you know, whatever they need to create. You're not really creating anything like a new attack or anything. You're just deactivating those aspects, the heat aspect, because heat for Tekken is not intrinsically connected in Tekken the way the drive gauge is for Street Fighter 6. Like the drive gauge for excuse me, the drive gauge for Street Fighter 6 is a very integral part of Street Fighter 6. It's very much woven into that game's DNA. You can literally, and I've heard Mike Hollow said this in a video he did maybe a month or so ago, where he had a live stream and he said that players in his stream, literally, it would be like round one fight, both players would burn their heat and their heat smash, and then after all of that's done, then they start to play out the round. And it basically turns into Tekken 7.5. So in a sense, that is a makeshift way of playing without heat. I just do feel that it would be well worth Namco, in my opinion, well worth Namco's time, I should say, for them to offer an option for players to play this game without heat, because I do feel it would give them some solid statistical data to ascertain whether or not people are really gravitating to the heat mechanic or not, if you give them an option. Because that way, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, there's a lot of people in their analytics and they recognize that, hey, we've had a lot more people play Cold Tekken than Heat Tekken, you know? So they can take that data moving forward for Tekken 9 to where if it becomes more so people are playing Cold Tekken, in Tekken 9, there will be no heat system. You know, they'll probably just do something else. But if they find out that, you know, more people are playing Cold Tekken, but then they put heat in Tekken 9, and then there's a bit of a backlash, you know, that's a landmine, you know, that they walked onto purposely or willingly. So I do feel that having the option of having players choose between playing Heat Tekken or Cold Tekken, I would like to say that I have coined this phrase. So you know, if any YouTuber, content creator, at least give me a link back to the channel, or give me some props. I appreciate it. Because I know damn well Namco is not going to give me no royalties. But I do feel that, you know, having a version of Tekken 8 without the heat mechanic, I don't feel that it would really dramatically change the game too much, because you would still have the new attacks of Tekken 8. You would still have the way the armor moves work. You would still have, you know, I just feel it would bring the game back to classic Tekken, but you would still have, you know, the new updates of the moves, the different frame properties. So I feel it would be a worthwhile venture for Namco to at least try it, maybe for like an upcoming season, you know. I don't think it would hurt. I'm gonna go try to edit all these sections together, and then I'm gonna premiere the video later on this afternoon, and then by the time this video is probably premiering, I'm probably gonna be still knocked out of sleep. And then when I wake up, some of the guys that that left me some very lengthy comments in the how and why video that I last uploaded, I will get to you guys' comments, and you know, I'll give you guys a proper response. And to the new people that have subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm hoping to continue to grow. And hopefully you guys like this video. I was thinking about just recording all of this stuff, like the in-game stuff first, and just have it as B-roll as I talk about over it. But I wanted to be a little more authentic, so I did everything in real time. So, you know, maybe I'll do more of this in the future, especially when I'm planning on doing a frame data video, just to put it out there, and an in-depth video for Lei Wulong for a few of you that asked for that. And so, yeah, I think that's enough of me yapping. It's time for me to finish this video, go to sleep. Anyway, thanks you guys for tuning in, and I'm gonna get some sleep. I think I look like my eyes are half closed. Anyway, take care.